Good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Not really how I wanted to start the video, but definitely how things are going today. Good afternoon, good morning. Again, I've tried to make this video. This would be update number 7, and the walkthrough what I believe is the coronavirus symptoms that I'm having. For those of you out there that are dealing with this, I hope that you are viewing this weeks or months from now, and that we have gotten much better in what this is. But if you're viewing this pretty close to the beginning of this may be helpful for you, your friends, or your family. All right. So to update you on last night, last night was actually a really, really good night considering how this thing has gone for me. Some of the symptoms that I've had have disappeared. At least last night they disappeared. I did not have a fever. I did not have a headache. And I did not get nauseous. So those are wins. I definitely was not as short of breath as I have been. So those symptoms are disappearing. Some of the symptoms that are still there is I am so tired. I'm so tired. My body is sore still. Been coughing today a lot. At night and in the morning, the cough seems to be worse. Had a very dry cough last night, and this morning, today it's not so dry. So I do have a little bit of retightening right in this part of my chest. So we'll see how it goes, but that's where I'm at right now so far. Also, this morning I did re-engage with the whole trying to get a test to see where I stand with this. My doctor was able to get me into the system. I was able to call the 800 number that I have. After some back and forth, they couldn't find the prescription. They had to call my doctor. This mask has about had it, but this is pretty much I only have a couple of them. They had to call my doctor to verify the prescription. After they called her, they were able to find it, and they called me back about an hour and a half later. So I finally have a test scheduled for tomorrow. So they only give these tests every so often. So, but I have one scheduled for tomorrow, kind of late morning. So I may video that process and kind of put that out there so that those of you who need to go through it, or if you're just curious of what happens at the testing site, I'm going to see if I can set the camera up and go through that whole procedure. So I did want to go ahead and tell you what to do if you need to go ahead and get a test in your local area. I looked at all the news conferences and press conferences that are out there saying that there are tests everywhere. There's not. I look at the press conferences and say that that show the websites, that show the apps that are out there. So let me just save you some time so you don't have to go through all of this stuff, okay? There's an iPad or an iPhone app, or it may be on different platforms also, but I know that Apple released an app, and it's a COVID-19 app, and it's supposed to walk you through your symptoms and what you're supposed to do. I downloaded that app, and it says it asks you 5 questions. Are you having fever, shortness of breath, coughing, runny nose, or body aches? And it says yes or no. Okay, if you have any of those symptoms. I clicked on yes, and it says call 911. Okay, so that's how good the app is. If you call 911, if you're not on the extreme end of those, again, like I said, if you don't have an extremely high fever, or you're not extremely short of breath, they'll come out and they may see you because it's 911, right? But you're not going to be admitted to the hospital. And you're going to be stuck in that loop where they tell you to contact your primary care physician or they'll send you home. Okay, they're not going to treat you. So don't get stuck in that do loop right there. So what you need to do is, if you are having these symptoms again to the extreme, then you should go to the hospital and you should be seen. Okay, your area may be different than what's in my area, but in my area, I had to contact my primary care physician. I had to tell her that there is a system out there called CRISP, CRISP. And in the CRISP system, if they are doing testing at the state level and they've set up testing sites in your area, that's how they enter the recommendations into the system to be able to get you into the testing site and to have an appointment. Okay. These people, then you have to call this number. You have to call a 866 number. In the state of Maryland, the number is 866-984-4405. If you don't have that number in your area, call your county health department. All right, your county health department will then be able to get you set up or give you a number to where these, and tell you about these testing sites and tell you what you're supposed to do to go see it. The only avenue that I have found, not 211, not the apps, not going to the hospital, to the emergency room, the only outlet I have found is by calling my local county health department of health. Okay? They gave me the number to the testing sites and told me that I needed an appointment. Then you make sure you call your primary care physician to get an appointment. If you don't have a primary care physician, I just recommend you going and being a pain in the ass in to the hospital, because I don't know how else you're supposed to get a recommendation to be tested. All right. They just set up our test sites here, so if they have test sites set up in your local area, they may be more willing to do that at your local hospital and your ER now. As opposed to when I went the first time, they did not have it all set up. I'm gonna have to start home making my masks, I think. So that's the best way to go and get yourself a test without being stuck in these endless loops of trying to get a test and being told you have to go home and we can't do anything for you. I know that you're hearing on the news that there are tests out there, but believe me, on the ground, there are not tests to be had. Okay? You're going to have to be in pretty bad shape. So if you find yourself in that situation, please follow please follow that advice. Secondly, I'm getting a lot of advice in emails. I got a few people sending me videos and things like that about the two drugs that are on the market that are being effective against fighting the coronavirus. The Z-Pak and the hydrochloroquine, I think it is what it is, the malaria drug. Those right now are being given to patients in pretty much the worst shape right now, and you have to be admitted to the hospital, and it is very experimental in the United States. So they are only giving that to people who are hospitalized that pretty much don't have anything else to lose. Again, there's no treatment for this. So you're just, unless you can't breathe and need to be put on a ventilator machine or oxygen, you're pretty much not going to be admitted to the hospital, at least in my area. All right? Because there's nothing that they can do for you. If you are to the point where you're degrading and your health is degraded so far, then maybe they'll try these experimental drugs. I know that they have been trying it in New York, and it's out there, and they're seeing on these patients, they're basically the guinea pigs for this drug, at least here in the United States. I know France did it, but at least here in the United States, they're trying to see what the side effects are. They're seeing what the cure rate is. They're seeing, everything, all the statistics that you need in order to provide a drug to the general public with understanding what those side effects are and how it could adversely affect people. So that is not open to the general public who are at home dealing with this by themselves. So who knows? I hope that if you're watching this video that those drugs that has changed and these drugs are released to the general public for use out there. Also, I got really good feedback from you guys yesterday about the albuterol. So I heard that the albuterol was actually not a steroid, and that you should be able to try it without any side effects. Talking to my primary care physician, she was saying that there are other treatments that we could give you steroidal wise and not the albuterol, but she didn't want to give that to me because it could suppress the immune system. So I appreciate the clarification out there, and that's what this is about, getting good information out there to people. So thank you for the clarification. Don't hesitate to send me those if I'm saying something that's not accurate, and I will definitely clarify that. So other than that, again, tomorrow is a test. I will try to video the test and walk you through it. I'll have to do some editing, probably for some personal information, but I will take you guys along and share that video after that test and provide another update. So right now I need to get some rest. I'm pretty tired. I am also working from home, so I guess I'll get some rest in a couple hours, but you know, it's a good night last night, and let's hope for another good night tonight without so many symptoms. All right. Thank you all for sharing your suggestions and your comments and following along. I appreciate it. Thank you for your prayers and support. Definitely appreciate it. I do look and follow all of those. I may not respond because you guys have shared this with hundreds of thousands of people or thousands of people. I know the first video has almost about 15,000 views, and I get a lot of feedback, so I may not get back to you, but I do appreciate what you're doing and keeping me in your thoughts and prayers. All right. Thank you all. Please stay home if you're not staying home. The latest word is that this is probably airborne. Again, I cleaned my hands. I wiped everything down, and I still got it. So there's probably some things in the air from people talking or I don't know. But please stay home. Please stay safe. Keep your loved ones safe. Please continue to feel free to forward those suggestions to me, and I will share them as I can. All right. Thank you.